If that's better. Can you hear me? Trying. Of course, everything's going to crap out now. It's the last time we're using it. I got news for you. It's making my computer so sluggish, it's unbelievable. YouTube and this software do not see eye to eye. They had an update. It has not worked since the update. All right, Carol can hear me. How about you, Fred and Mary Jane? All right. Hi, Katia. Good. Well, we had a nice little experience here. One of the propane tanks went out and the heater quit working. We didn't realize it ran out because we got propane before we left to come here. Apparently, they didn't fill the tank. So, yeah, one of the tanks was empty. So Dennis had to go out there and switch it. And I'm hoping we have enough propane to get us through the night. It is supposed to get to 32 in Georgia. Okay, 32 degrees. So, yeah. We got heat now, but we do have an electric blanket. I'm worried about the girls, though. Hey, Jeremy. What was the date of the first class for this session? I don't remember, Fred. There's been so much to happen, I can't remember. Yeah, I know, Carol. I'm not looking forward to freezing. We do have an electric blanket, though. We'll be fine. We have heaters on the tanks and on the water lines. They've got electric heat tape. So we're not worried about anything freezing other than ourselves. And we do have the fireplace. It's just we can't put the girls in the bed with us. Mia is too small to jump off of that bed. And she will try it. She will break all four legs if she does. I mean, she's got little skinny toothpicks. It's 48 there. It's 32 here tonight. And it's going to get even colder tomorrow night. Hi, Barb. Yeah, now, last year in the other rig, we was in Texas. And we only had to turn the heater on a couple of times. And then we came here because our storage and stuff was here. And I don't think we ran the heat when we got here. And that was in February. I've not seen it get this cold in Georgia for a long time this early. Usually Georgia doesn't get snow until sometime in February, January, late January, early February. Oh, where you at, Katia? I heard most of the country was going to get snow today. This is a very strange weather season. Hi, Christy. But it's all good. I mean, we have to have these climate changes for, it's like a wake-up call to say, hey, people. That's the way I feel. We get so stuck in our ways, if it stays nice and warm every year or it stays nice and cold, we get set in that rhythm and we go dormant. We're not supposed to. Christine, I haven't seen you in an age. How are you doing? Well, Katia, it's expected to be cold up there. I'm just saying it's Canada. So did y'all get your pattern in the email? Those of you that weren't here earlier today, I think most of you were here earlier today. I think Christine's the only one that I've seen that wasn't. I'm sure there's others because there's people in the room that aren't talking. They're shy. Yeah, I know. Isn't it strange? I don't know. I just don't like being cold. I do not like cold weather. That's why when I landed in Georgia, when I got out of college, I was like, oh, thank you. Thank you. All right, Christine. Well, today you're a lucky day. Today is the last class until January 3rd of next year. I have to get the website going and get all the information up on the website and get some other things done for Georgia. So, yeah, I need to have the time to focus on that and get it done. So, we're going to shut down after tonight, and then we'll be back January 3rd and starting with a whole new series. We are going to honor every designer that has contributed to the pattern library for the classes. Yeah, I know, Barb. A lot of people have lost power out west because it's windy and they've had a lot of rain and just, craziness going on. And now they're losing power. We've had a lot of rain here and we're waiting for it to dry up so that we can re-level the rig. We're sort of kind of leaning a little bit. Not bad. It's enough. I notice it. But of course, I notice if anything's off in any way, I notice it. He lets me go in when we park and check level because my equilibrium gets the slightest bit off and I'm done for. I'm totally deaf in one ear. I do not have an eardrum in that ear. So my equilibrium is already off. So therefore, when the house gets off level, yeah, it really plays havoc. I walk around like I'm drunk. So it would be different if I was, but I don't drink. So there you go. Hi, Jess. All right, it is 8 o'clock. Is everybody ready to start working for today's class? We learned a bunch of new stuff earlier today. You're 11 degrees. Okay, you keep your 11 degrees. I do not want 11 degrees. 11 degrees, I won't be able to move. Arthur will take over and I'm done. So, but today we learned 3 different knots. The surgeon's knot, weaver's knot, and a square knot. Those are the 3 most common knots that tatters will use in their tatting. Hi, Tasneem. You got here right on time. Right on time. Tasneem has turned out to be a star student, guys. I mean, she is really flying with her improvements. I can't say enough good things about her. Today, this is the last class, Tasneem. The very last one for this year. We'll be back on the 3rd. However, I will, if I can get the website caught up and get stuff done, I will probably run a special class or 2 during the break. So look for those emails. Anyway, back to what we learned earlier. All right, we learned the 3 knots that are most commonly used by tatters. Now, again, as I said earlier today, you can use these knots in your personal tatting. You can use these knots in gift giving to someone that doesn't know anything about tatting, okay? Because they're not going to spot it. But if you are going to do a competition, do not, please do not, if you are shooting for the gold, okay, don't put a knot in it that doesn't belong. And these knots do not belong in tatting. We should sew our ends in. Work them into the work, just like you do with crochet and knitting, okay? So please, if you're going for competition, don't discredit your tatting by using these knots. Please sew them in. We will learn how to do that when we come back in January. But I do want you to practice these knots and make them useful. Because when you are working on projects for yourself, okay, and I'm guilty as charged, if it's for my own home, okay, or my personal use, I will use one of these knots to tie my ends off with. And then I put a spot of glue on them, okay, to hold them. And it does. I've not had any to fall apart, and I hand wash my tatting, okay? I don't stick it in the wash machine. There are people that stick it in the wash machine. My advice is do not stick it in the wash machine. It's thread, people. It's just thread. Wash machines go chomp, chomp, chomp to thread. I mean, think about it. They eat socks, okay? What can they do to tatting? Let's get real here. So, remember, don't wash your tatting in a wash machine. Hand wash it. Put it in a jar. Use Woolite. It's a delicate laundry soap for delicate items. Put it in a jar, a little bit of Woolite, and shake it. You know, jar it around. Wash it that way. Or put it in a bowl and hand wash it gently. Do not dry it. Otherwise, your doily that's this big is going to be this big. Okay? It's cotton thread. Use common sense when working with your tatting to clean it and prep it. Okay? You're dealing with cotton threads that are delicate threads. So, keep that in your mind. All right? We also learned how to do a twisted picot. Okay? And what the twisted picot can do for you. All right? It can add depth and dimension to a pattern, especially patterns that have the extra long picots. That's boring. Okay? Let's get real. They're just boring sitting there. Give them a little pizzazz. Okay? Like on this pattern that I shared today, there's joins on picots. In between those, joins, why not do a twisted picot? Give it a little flair. All right? So, I'm going to go on the down shot. We're going to go over this pattern. Those that were here earlier today, I gave input on what you can do with this pattern to use it in other aspects, okay? Okay, you're fine, Tasneem, not a problem. All right, now, we're going to go into our down shot. If I can get my mouse to work with me, we will. Come on. Catch up. It's not wanting to. Yeah, you're right, Sue. It does stabilize the work more. All right, here we go. We got this beautiful Christmas tree by Linda Davies. And what she's done is she's made it three-dimensional by adding another tree to it. Okay? The way she added it was she took a spot of glue and went right down the center. And she took the other tree that was dipped in glue with water, watered down glue, and shaped, and she stuck it right there. Okay? And now she has a three-dimensional tree. The back of it is flat and it sticks out. Okay? That makes it 3D. It's coming at you. Well, here's another thing you can do. You could do the same thing on the other side and have a full tree, okay, on both sides. I can't help what it's doing. There's not two mics on. Let me change some settings here. Is that any better? Yeah, I don't get that. Weird. Is that any better? Let me know. This thing is acting crazy. I ain't kidding you. My mouse is just, it's over there in La La Land. Oh, you decided to come back. Nice to see you, mouse. I don't know what's going on with it. Christine, she doesn't say. She doesn't say how many yards of thread on the shuttle. Okay, so it's not echoing anymore. So undoubtedly whatever I did worked. Oh, it's slightly. No, it's not on. I'm not on the laptop. Okay. All right. So, anywho, back to the pattern. What you can do is make 3 trees. Okay? Then you work one side at a time, let it dry. Okay? You want to soak the 2 sections with a light glue water base. No, I don't have but one mic. I mean, it's the same setup we had this afternoon. Nothing has changed. I don't get this. Dennis? Yeah. Come here. They're hearing an echo and nothing has changed. They're saying it sounds like another mic is active. And this is the same setup as this afternoon.
No. You do have, hold on, it's muted.
No, that's this mic.
No, try.
Can you all hear me now? See, it's not changed at all. Could be gremlins, Jackie. Could be. Yeah, I got my cell phone, but it's not doing anything. See, it's only when I go to the down shot. Okay, if I can get it to go to the up shot. No. Let's try it again. We're going to the down shot. See? That update that YouTube did today is crazy. No sound at all, Dennis.
No sound.
This one. No.
Let's see if that
All right, let's try that. Is that better? This is crazy. Nothing has changed since this afternoon. I left everything hooked up and walked away. Got my supper. Fought with the furnace. I turned it to desktop 10 minutes ago. It seems like. There we are. We are seriously lagging.
Yeah, well, say when you hear them say that they can hear you now, you don't know at what point that was.
Yeah. So they say they got one voice on the down shot now. Stay in the down shot. Okay, I'll stay in the down shot. And it's buffering. I don't understand why it's doing that. Yeah, I can't. This is crazy. YouTube updated today, and so did OBS. And all I did was turn the camera and stuff off after class. That was it. So whatever the two are doing, it don't like working together. That's why we're getting the new software. It's going to take time to learn it. It's totally different than what I've been using. So, but it's designed to work for YouTube. Does that make sense to y'all? Because it sure don't to me. I'm just like Greek when it comes to the tech. That's why I have a dentist. I'm just saying that's why I have a dentist. Anyway, back to the pattern. Yeah, so it reads as if it's one piece and then another piece added, but it's actually two trees. Okay, two full patterns, and you're gonna glue them down to get the three-dimensional look with a flat back. Okay, and then on top of that, if you want to do the same thing on the back side, you can get a 360 on that tree, and you can use it as an ornament on your Christmas tree. I don't know, Teresa. When they update the two softwares at the same time, we go through a headache trying to get set up. Like I said, when I left class, everything stayed hooked up. I just walked away from the desk after I ended the stream and sent the emails out. I just walked away. No, they're gone. We don't have any neighbors. We're back here in the hole by ourselves, which I like. So, Dennis, everybody says hello. So, anyway, you all play with this pattern. Send us pictures of your pattern when you finish. Put beads on it and stuff and make it look like a real Christmas tree. But if you're going to make it for an ornament on your tree and you have a green Christmas tree, be sure you change the color of this one so you don't lose it in the Christmas tree. All that work will go for naught because it'll go with the Christmas tree. And I would do it in white, make it look like it got snowed on, you know, if I'm going to put it on my tree. But it also, if you're using size 80 thread, it makes a cute pair of earrings. Okay, you could put this on a card, the three-dimensional tree on a card, and then stick the card on the gift itself and use it for like a three-dimensional gift tag. So yeah, it's got plenty of possibilities here. But do put your beads on there and make it look pretty and make it look cute. And I'd love to see your pictures. You don't have to send them in, but I'd love to see your pictures of your finished work. Okay, when y'all send your work in, it does my heart does a little flip-flop because I see you've got it, you've improved, and it just really makes me feel good that I did a good job. Okay, because my goal is just to teach. That's all I want to do is teach. All right, so with that said, our next little adventure today is a twisted picot. Okay, now you that were here earlier today, did y'all get a chance to practice the twisted picot? Yeah, if it's flocked or tinsel, yeah, you're gonna have to do something different. I had a little, it was a real thin gold Christmas tree. It was about, about that long, and it hung up in my tree. And I put it up there year after year after year. Well, we moved up here to take care of Mom, and my first Christmas, I put it in the tree. For some reason, it never came off the tree. We never did find it after it went on that tree, so we don't know where it went to. But it was a cute little gold tree, and it was like about this big. And it wasn't that my tree was gold, it was a green tree, so how it got gone, I don't know. It fell off somewhere, I'm sure. It probably went up the vacuum cleaner, for all I know. But anyway, yeah, that would be a good start, Christine. 4 yards. That may be a little bit much, because this, if she's doing this in size 8 pearl cotton, anchor pearl, I would venture to say it's only about 1.5 inches tall to 2 inches, to be honest with you. And 4 yards may be a little bit more than you need. But if it is, then you make 2. See? So, but she doesn't give yardage on it. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not a good mathematician. That's why I will not ever make a good designer. Because math was not my strong suit. It really wasn't. All right, so let me show you here. We have a regular picot here. Okay? And you see, it's a pretty good size. That's boring. To me, that's boring. So we go over here and we did a twisted picot. All right? That gives it a little bit more pizzazz. All right? Now, I'm going to tell you, if you put a clear crystal or a clear cut, crystal cut glass bead here, it will refract the light off of the thread in many different directions. Crystals work really great on this. All right? And when it hits that thread, while it's twisted, it will refract that light in the direction away from that thread. So you'll sling light, color everywhere. All right? With your twisted picot. But even by itself, it really is a nice addition. Okay? Now, when you do a twisted picot, you want your picots a little bigger than the rest of your picots. Do you see the difference between the two picots? The reason is when you do the twist, you're making that picot shorter. So if you do this sized picot here and then twist it, you got no thread left to attach with. Okay, I'm just fair warning. All right, now if you want to twist this picot and leave it twisted as an added element, the way to do it is twist your picot. Okay, how many times you want to twist it, lay it on whatever you're going to block it on, and pin it with that twist in. Spritz it with a little bit of water and let it dry, and it will hold that twist. Thread will train to whatever you want it to do if you treat it proper. All right? You can do that and give your pattern a whole bunch of twisted little picots up here, and it'll look like somebody with spiky hair. It's cute. It is really cute. I've seen thistle patterns done that way, and it really looked cute. So try it. Use it. Okay? It's a neat technique. So, without further ado, let's do the twisted picot. Now, we're going to make a ring just like these. The count is 5 picot, 3 picot, 3 picot, 5. All right? That way we get 3 picots in on this thing. So we're going to put in our 5 double stitches. And that's 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, this first picot is our twisted picot. Watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to run my crochet hook. We're going to twist that picot. Did you see that? Let me get closer. All right, we're going to put the crochet hook in and twist. Now you can twist it twice and get more of a twist in there. Twist it however many times you want. Okay? And yes, you're making the twist in the same direction as the normal twist of the thread. Okay? And it will hold it. The spritz just ensures it to hold. Now, what you're going to do is pull your picot. I don't like that second twist in there myself. Makes it too hard. All right, pull it up. Hook that thread on our finger. Put down our little hook. And then join. Okay? And you join this just like you do a regular join. All right, now let's do 3 double stitches. 1, and that's 2. Pull off some more thread. 3. Gonna do another picot. No, I'm not measuring my picots. Okay. And we're gonna put in 3. Now, we've got this other one that if we're going to do another twisted picot, we need that picot to be pretty big. Okay, so this is where your picot gauge would come in handy, so that all your twisted picots are the same length. But for now, for all intents and purposes, we're just going to put a picot in there. All right, and we're going to count down to 5. This is 3, 4, and 5. And that completes that ring. I'm going to close the ring, pull it tight, and then we fiddle it, make it look nice. All right, then we move on to our chains, which is 5 picot 5. Now we did this one earlier today, and this one was 5 picot 4, picot 4, picot 5, with the chains being 6 picot 6. Now both of these will find their way into my scrap bin, and I will use them. These is what I use to practice joins and so forth. Save your little bits and bobs, okay? Because they make great practice pieces. They're participants without losing anything, okay? So keep it, you know, for your own personal use. I have zippy bags. I toss them in the zippy bag, and I got all these little bits and bobs that I can use for practicing, all right? So, now, the next thing we're going to do is snip that thread off, because we're finished with that twisted picot. All right? Everybody understand what a twisted picot is and how to do a twisted picot. Right, Sue? Right. If you made the picot a bit long for a bead, you can twist it and it will shorten it and make it even. But I am a firm believer, even in my own work, this is something I was working on. It's one of Lillian's patterns. Lillian's Tats Lace, it's one of her free patterns. I love this little square that she's come up with. And I was playing with it the other day. And I was thinking, well, I wonder if I could do this, this, or this with it, you know? I'm looking for something to trim the shades in the rig. All the shades are MCD shades, and they're just plain boring black, okay? And it's because they block out the light. They also help insulate a tad bit. I can hang curtains, but then I'd have to take down all the cornices. That is not going to be fun. So I don't want to do that. But I was thinking something like this to trim the edge of those shades, you know? So I was looking at this and I was playing with it and stuff. And this is part of my little stack of goodies, okay? And I was looking at it and I was like, Yeah, I could join here, I can join there. But if you'll notice, all my picos that are not joining picos, they are even. It's because I use a pico gauge, even for my own personal work. Because if your picos are not even throughout, it will show. And it will throw the whole piece off, make it look bad, you know? So if you don't want to be frustrated with your work, use a pico gauge, all right? If you have a hard time managing one, mark your fingers, put a little nail polish on it, and you're good to go, all right? There was a tatter years ago that had the dots on her finger permanently done with a tattoo, and she had them measured. So on her fingers was a pico measure, and she had it tattooed on her finger. I don't think I could stand that many needles in my finger. I don't like needles. So, you know, sitting there and having them poke me, no, that wouldn't happen. I'll just use my pico gauges. But you can see, even on a scratch piece, having measured picos, how much better it makes it look. So, use your pico gauge. All right? Now, our next little fun deal we're going to do is we're going to show you how to do a square knot, how to do a weaver's knot, and how to do a surgeon's knot. Okay? So, let's start off with, let's do surgeon's knot. How's that? Now, a surgeon's knot is pretty in your face. It is similar to a square knot. The difference is you're going to do the twist a little bit more. Okay? Now, for a general surgeon's knot, right over left and under once, right over left and under twice. And what you get is something that looks like this. Can you see that? Now, once you get those little puppies in there, then you grab those in and you go left over right one time. And watch, it locks it in. All right, pull all your ends tight. And if you pull them tight, you'll feel it snap into place. You'll feel it lock down. And there is no getting that loose. Let me see that, Christine. Yeah, the pattern does say it on rings. All right, the second ring, 2 picot, 2 picot, 2, and then a bead. So she's got a bead. Let's see. She's going 2 picot, 2 picot, 2, and then the bead. See on the pattern here? Can you see that? These little round dots, those are representing beads. So it's beads right on the ends. You can see them in the picture. I know that's a bad picture, but you can barely see those little clear beads on the ends. So does that help? So we got the surgeon's knot, and it's pretty stout. But the nice thing with all 3 of these knots is it puts your tails where they need to go. So you can attach your tails in. All right? And your colors match. But you can see the surgeon's knot makes it virtually the same size as your thread. All right? So we're going to snip this off. And the next one we're going to do is going to be that square knot. Because it does resemble the surgeon's knot in many ways, we're going to do it. So it's right over left. What that means, right hand over left hand. Okay? So right thread over left thread. You bring it under and around. Okay? So you got this. Now, if we go over and around again, that's the first half of a surgeon's knot. Now, you're going to go left over right for the second half, and you see what you get? See how they're coupled? Look at that. And then you just pull them together. Grab them, pull them tight, pull these ends tight. Again, threads, tails match the coordinating thread. And as you can see, that knot is virtually gone. It's there, but it's not there. It's close enough to the same size of thread that it's going to go unnoticed. Okay? Now that's your square knot. The weaver's knot is the one that is mostly used by crochet and knitting artists. Okay? A weaver's knot, the way that they use it in crochet and knitting. I had to get a drink of my coffee. My throat was getting a little dry. The way that it's worked, they will take that weaver's knot, put it in, and they work their thread to where the plies come loose. Then they work that tail in with the plies. And they turn the thread to where the plies come loose, okay? Put the tail in and work the two together and reply that yarn. And then they just start crocheting and move right on, right over the knot, and you don't even see it, okay? And you can see just what little twisting I did. It brought those plies apart on that thread. Can you see that? Get it up there. So the weaver's knot is designed for that type of use. Well, to do the weaver's knot, you tie a slip knot. Now, I tie a slip knot different than most folks. I do it the way my mom taught me to do it, and it works for me. Right there is my slip knot. Now, if I pull that slip knot, you see it's gone. That's a slip knot. Okay? So let's get that up again. All right. You see how it's slipped. There's my knot. And if I pull both ends, that knot disappears. The way you do it, the easy way is what I call it. Take it around your two fingers. Back up. You want to come up the back and across. Up through that loop right there. Okay? And you end up with your slip knot. Now, this second thread, you want to put it in there. Grab it. Now, pull this thread here till that thread comes through the bottom. Okay? Gentle. See it? Once you do that, pull those two together. Guess what? Pull that one together. Now, work them till you get it all tightened up. All right, and you will hear it snap when you get it done. Ready? There it went. It just snapped. You have to play with it or it will come loose. After it's snapped, you see it's locked. But if you look at this knot, okay, you see how that knot is even with that thread. It is the smallest knot you can get. Okay? Now, it also, again, puts your thread to where your tails can be worked in the same color. Okay? So you don't have two colors of thread and you're trying to hide the ends. You don't want to hide ends with this two different colors because it's going to show. It just will show. It will work its way out and everybody's going to know. It's like, you know, your shirt tail hanging out in the back. Everybody's going to know your shirt tail's out in the back. Even though you've tucked in the front, they're going to know it's out the back. All right? So, that's what we have learned. We've learned the 3 knots. We've learned the twisted picot. and we went through the instructions on this tree. Now, this is in honor of Linda Davies. She has graciously shared so many patterns with the classes over the years, and she's done so much for the tatting community. And I want to honor all tatters that have shared with the classes from the time Georgia started the classes up until she retired. Now, there has been so many that have contributed. These classes would not be where they are today without these designers. And we owe them a debt of gratitude. And the best way we can show them our gratitude is to honor them by tatting their work, sharing their work, showing the world what they do. Yesterday, we honored, in the beginner class, we honored Ruth Perry. Of course, everybody wanted to know if Ruth was still around because I said we're honoring her. They didn't understand why we were honoring her. They thought she had passed. However, no, she did not. She's alive and kicking, joking with the rest of us. All right? She's doing fine, as is Linda Davies. Okay? But I want them to know that they're appreciated. All right? So, as you're tatting, you share work that you've done of another tatter's. Give them the appreciation and share where that work came from. Right, they do sell a DVD of her books for the fundraiser. Okay, so go over there, check it out. I bought it, and Pam's bought it. Several people have bought it, and she's got some really fun patterns. The ones that Palmetto's has got some florals in it. I can't wait to crack into those, okay? Because I want to make a floral basket that has both tatted flowers and some flowers that a friend of mine made that was out of carved wood. And it's little thin carved pieces of wood that these flowers were made out of. And I thought, now those two, they belong together. They do. And I want to make a little flower vase that has those in there. And that's what I want to do. So yeah, I want to crack into those and get busy on those. But classes, website, email, all that is more important. Yeah, but I want to honor them too. I do. Because without them, these classes would not be where they're at today. If we didn't have those patterns to offer, the students wouldn't have come after, they'd have come to learn and then they'd have been gone. Would we have more designers? You don't know. It takes a designer to intrigue a designer and motivate a designer. If you've got the design bug in your body and you don't have anything to feed it, it's going to go away. You see? Right. We celebrate them. We honor them. We, owe them a debt, seriously, of gratitude. So thank the designers. Tell them how great their work is. If you have a favorite designer, tell them. Yes, Ruth's Celtic iris is beautiful. That is the most beautiful iris I've seen. So yeah, my favorite jewelry designer, okay, is Karina Mayfeld. Her imagination is off the charts. Okay, what she can do with Ankars is mind-blowing. Okay, my favorite personal designer, oh Lord, I don't think I have a favorite personal designer like for dollies and knicky-knack things like that. I look at the patterns themselves and choose from there. If it catches my eye, I have to do it. I have stacks and stacks and stacks of patterns that I'm going to do them. Okay. And, I'll buy a book for one pattern out of that book. Why? Well, for one, it took a lot of time and effort to write the book. So the designer deserves the price of the book. Okay, I'm sure I can go get it bootlegged anywhere off the internet, but am I going to? No. It's not fair, it's not right. That's stealing. I don't steal. Never have and never will. If it ain't mine, I ain't taking it. And sometimes I have a hard time taking what's mine because I am a sharing person. So, yeah. You got a favorite designer? Let them know. You like somebody's work? Let them know. Put their name out there and say, look, I have worked this person's patterns. They're easy. They're beautiful. They look so intricate. Tell people. Share with others. Alumni folk. Yep. We're alumni. So, are there any questions on tonight's class? Any questions on the 3 knots? Any questions on the twisted picot? Is there any questions at all on any techniques you've learned throughout the course of these classes this year? Because next year we're having some blowout classes. Folks, we are going live next year. Our first class in January, you will get an email that says class today at 2 o'clock. We are live. We will have our moderators trained by then. And we're not going to have to deal with any bad folk because our moderators is going to take care of them. Okay? So, but I think it's wise to build. We have 4,000 students now. And with that many students, Gmail has a hard time keeping up with our email. They're not sending all the emails out. A lot of people are being left out because we've got more students than they say we should have. We've grown too big for our britches, in other words. And I don't think so. But Gmail does. So we're converting over to the website email. We're going to set up the homework site on the website so that Pam can work on that. Pam may be calling in some help on some stuff on that side. If she does, that's fine. She has approval to do so. Moderators, you all will be trained to know the difference from good, bad, and evil on live classes. We're going to go use this 3-strike rule. So there you go. Happy holidays, Teresa. Now, I want all of you to stay safe over these next few months. The COVID virus, they say, is going crazy, so be safe. Wear your mask if you don't feel comfortable. The shots, all they do is make it easier, from my understanding. I don't know. I never had the shots, but I've had COVID twice, and it wasn't too bad. No worse than the flu, And but for others, it's not so easy. But I have a pretty strong immune system. So, yeah, you're right, Christine. You and Barb were right. I just couldn't think of the word. I've had a sinus headache for 2 days. Anybody want it? I'm giving it away. It needs a new home besides my brain. Yesterday, I could have swore somebody was standing behind me with a sledgehammer. Exactly, Barb. Thank you for that input. Barb says, if you get permission to use their design to tap some motifs and sell for pin money, write on the card who designed it and who tatted it. Welcome back, Tesneem, but class is over. You can watch it on the replay, though. Now, y'all have a wonderful Thanksgiving for those that celebrate. Eat a lot of food, have a lot of sweets, splurge because it only comes once a year. Spend time with family and loved ones. Enjoy each other and enjoy the time you get together. Okay? So, until January 3rd of 2023, be safe, guys. Take it easy and enjoy the holidays and celebrate them for what they are. Okay? So, see you next year. Happy tatting, everyone. Bye-bye.